All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Coach Nick, Coach DC. We're here to teach you guys a little bit about how we assess athletes as professionals. First things first, we'll take them through a squat pattern. We'll assess their movement, and then we'll try to progress from there. So first things first, I have Coach DC with no load. We'll just go through 5 squats, and let me check his form and pattern. Good, keeping it nice and simple. I like to check power through triple extension, power through parallel, making sure that he's efficient through his hips, efficient through his ankles, make sure nothing's tight, that I don't have to regress him, bring him off the platform, and kind of go through corrective exercises. So next thing, if an athlete passes and progresses past that, I will add load to each hip, and then also assess movement through load through the hip. So I have him do 5 more squats. Good. Good. And after I go through that, the next step would be for him to jump. But before I do that, I just want to make sure I show you guys some of the most common deficiencies that we see as coaches and professionals through our younger athletes, older athletes, professional athletes. It's all the same. So I'll have DC show us one of the most common ones we see in a young athlete, which is the knobby knee squat. This could be just being taught through poor technique, or not just knowing at all, not knowing how to squat, just not having enough strength to get into his hips. So if this is a younger athlete, I'll for sure bring him off, maybe give him a PVC pipe, teach him squat pattern, maybe strengthen his squat pattern if that's the case, or go through mobility, hip mobility if that's the case as well.
A lot of times they don't even know like what their knees are doing too.
Exactly, and I think that's the most important part as a professional, to be able to notice those bad things right away, and then kind of correct them before you get them back, either in the field of play or even back to training.
Yeah, because if they can't notice it right here, they're definitely not noticing it on the field
at all. No,
it's going to be bad at some point.
Yeah, and his sport coach is not a professional in movement, so they'll just say, get back out there, do your thing, and the athlete will keep progressing, not in a good way. Right. Next thing I'll have coach do is the poor hip hinge. This is probably more of our high school athletes, NCAA athletes, and or sometimes professional athletes. Yeah.
But they're still dogs though. Like they're still,
that's true.
They're still good athletes. That's the crazy
thing. The pro athletes
and
NCAA athletes, they can kind of get away with some of the stuff because they're athletes. They can do it without doing it the right way. They're just talented. But if I can get them in here and teach them the proper way to move, it's good for injury mitigation, injury prevention, kind of the same and the same.
To the field.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. If an athlete can then progress past that, I will keep the load on him, and then we're going to go into 5 jumps. Good. And as you can see, Coach DC does a very good job of using power at parallel. He's not sinking his hips past parallel. He's staying into his hips, good jump mechanics, arm swing, and it helps us kind of progress them into what we like to do. Is past the basics, get into what we like to do, is kind of change the workouts up the reps, add different kinds of load. So I'll have Coach DC grab these 2 handles here, and we're going to go through a few drop sets that we like to do, whether it's a volleyball player, football player, soccer player, whatever the case may be, all explosive athletes.
Yeah.
So I'll have Coach do 5 jumps to squat, or 5 squat to press with the handles, and then he'll do 5 jump to press, and then he'll release 5 jump.
All right.
Good. Okay. All right, let's show how you really do it now.
Good. Here we go.
Good. There you go. Good.
Shit.
How's that feel?
Yeah, it's tough. Whatever.
And as professionals, as they're doing something explosive, something like this, we're still assessing movement. No athlete is perfect. We always want to be staying on top of correcting form and pattern, strengthening form and pattern, making sure he's efficient through movement. So when we send him out to the field, they understand what their body needs to do in the field of play, especially when there's so many different things going on. Just making sure that he's moving correctly.
Oh yeah, and that's why we have Shit, 4 Vertimaxes.
Yeah.
We can get a lot of our school teams in here, club teams, and put them all.
Yeah, put them on there. We have
yeah.
4 or 5 coaches that can also be at each station, making sure the athlete is going through what he needs to go through, doing it the right way. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for our little assessment video. They want to thank Coach DC for kind of putting his body on the line for today's assessment. Take us out of here, man.
Hell yeah. Like, subscribe. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see. We have more videos coming for you in the next couple weeks. Appreciate you.
Thank you.